Hi, it's Mike the Brand here. Welcome to Tinted. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to show you how to do a reverse roll on a saloon car. Now, if you're watching from America, you call it a sedan. In England here, we call it a saloon. Basically, what we're trying to achieve here is we're trying to get the tint on the glass from the inside, but unlike a hatchback car, where we can just open up this and pull it straight in the air, take the film off and put it on the glass, instead, we can't do that because we open up this and obviously the boot opens, but the glass stays where it is. So we need to get this film inside the car and on the glass without touching the parcel shelf or the side trims or the headliner, the pillars, anything like that. So in order to do this, we're going to do a thing called a reverse roll. That's a technique that is used to get this film on the glass from the outside into the inside without touching any of them problem areas that could possibly pick up contaminants and creases and hairs, fibers, etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk over to the peel board right now where there's a little bit of film, and we're going to talk about the theory behind this. And we're going to show you how to do it on the peel board, and then hopefully by the time we get on the back window, that's going to make sense. Right, you can follow me. So, right, here we are. So I've got a bit of a film here, and all this film is going to do is going to represent the film on the back window. So let's just pretend this is the film here. We've cut it oversized, we've heat shrunk it to the curvature of the glass, and then we've trimmed off the excess or the burnt edges, if you like, to now fit the shape. So we want it about 2 millimeters bigger than the visible area around the ceramic border of the back window. If you don't know how to get to this point, how to heat shrink and how to get to this point here where we're ready to put it on the glass, please go back to the previous videos and see how that's done. Okay, skipping forward, this is how we do a saloon back window. So if we imagine that this film here is on the outside of the glass, and we've just heat shrunk it, we've just trimmed it to size, and everything is ready to go. This is what we do next. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift half of the window back, half of the window film back. We're going to spray the back of the film, and then we're going to spray the window behind it. We're going to put this film back and leave it here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to peel back the other side of the window film. From the side to the center, we're going to spray the glass behind the film, and we're going to spray the glass itself. We're going to put that back on itself. And what you will now notice is that previously, obviously, like I'm saying, I'm assuming that you've already known how to get to this point, but now it is no longer locked to the glass like it previously was. It's now floating around on a puddle of water underneath. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to spray the edge of the film. We're going to try and get our fingernail between the window film and the liner, and we need to get that piece off. So we spray and we pick, and we spray and we pick. If for some reason you can't get that, you can always lift the film to your mouth, make a saw-like motion with your teeth, and separate the film from the liner. Like so. I'm going to peel that back to the center, and I'm going to spray the glue. I'm now going to put that part back, and I'm going to repeat the same process on the other side. Now what you may notice at this stage is that not only is the liner now floating on the glue rather than being tacked to the glue like it previously was when you pulled it out of the roll, but also the material is also floating around on the glass because there is a puddle of water behind the window film and there's a puddle of water in between the glue and the liner. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to roll this up. Now, although I'm going to tell you in more detail when we get to the car, it is important that we roll it up from the correct side, but I will explain that later. We're going to roll it all the way up to the edge of the glass, to the edge of the film, sorry. We're going to pick this film up here, and we're going to split the liner, which should be very easy to do because it's already been sprayed. Now, like you noticed there is a piece of film here. This is the glue side, so we want to avoid touching this. This is the liner that was currently protecting the glue. what we're going to do is we're going to pick this liner up, wrap it round the roll of window film. So this piece here has no liner on it because the liner that was on it is now wrapped around this side. And then when we get on the inside of the car, we're going to put this glue side onto the glass. Now, because the liner is wrapped around this tube here, if we unroll this tube, the liner will just carry on rolling from the glue side to the back side. So when we're finished, like so, oh, a bit too far that side, but you get the point. When we're finished doing what we need to do, we can just pick up the liner, which is now on the back side, rather than the front side where it was. We can peel it off and apply that window film. Right, so now that we know the concept behind the reverse roll, let's do the actual reverse roll. So, come closer and I'll show you what it is. So, this window here has been, it previously was oversized. It was heat shrunk to the curvature of the glass, and now it has been trimmed to the size of the glass. Now, because this is a Subaru Impreza saloon, we can't open up the hatchback, if you like, and apply this. It means that we're going to have to open up this door and get inside. Now, if we were to do this without using this technique, we're going to have quite a big piece of film to get on the glass. Unfortunately, sometimes on YouTube and other online videos, what you do see are people doing exactly that, where they just peel the liner off, chuck it on the glass and say, boom, that's how we do it. Unfortunately, as in realistic terms, what's going to happen is you're going to pick up quite a lot of contaminants, quite a lot of fibers, and when that dries out, which you can't see on a normal YouTube video, it will be horrendous. So this is how you do it to look at a professional standard to the eye and not just to the film. So just like we said previously over there, we are going to pick up the film and we're going to go spray behind it. We're going to get that window very, very wet. And just for good measure, we're going to spray up the window film as well. We're going to put that down and we're going to do exactly the same thing to the other side. Pick it up, spray the window film, spray the window, and put it down. Now, what are we going to do? Just like we did earlier, we are going to separate the liner from the glue. So if I spray and pick at the same time, I should be able to get my fingernail in between the layers. I'm going to spray up that glue and I'm going to peel off this liner to the halfway point. Just like so. I'm going to put this liner back on itself and then repeat that procedure on the other side of the window. Like so. I'm going to put that back on itself, and again, as you're now probably aware, this window film, the whole thing in its entirety, is slipping on a puddle of water, and so is the liner. Now, the very, very important thing to mention right now is where to start rolling from. So I'm left-handed. I'm one of them weirdos that you only read about in bedtime stories. So I roll this side from the driver's side of the car in England. What that means is the right side of the car. Now, if anybody's watching from overseas, if everyone's not from England, obviously that would be the other side. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm left-handed, I'm going to start rolling from the right-hand side of the car. Why is that? The reason I need to start rolling from this side is because as I continue to roll it, I'm going to end up on this side with the leaf. The leaf is the part that is not yet correctly rolled. And when I get on the inside, because this is the last part that was rolled, it's going to be the first part that is applied to the glass on the inside. Now, because I'm left-handed, the reason we chose that side is because it's going to be my strong hand, my left hand, that does the rolling. So I'm assuming most of you are probably right-handed, so because of that, you would start the roll on this side of the car, which is the left-hand side of the car. Whether you're in England and that's the passenger side, or anywhere else in the world, so it's the driver's side, you need to start this on the left-hand side of the tint if you are a right-handed person. Because I'm a left-handed person, I'm going to start over here. I'm going to pick this film up and I'm going to start to roll. Now, it's important to say at this point that if I make this roll too tight, I'm sorry, if I make this roll too loose, then when I get inside the car, it might be so loose that it might fold around my hand or fold at all. And because we've rolled it up, if it folds there, if it makes a little crease there, that will be all the way through the tint. So it's very, very important to make this roll as tight as you can possibly make it to avoid it bending and flopping and creasing in the middle. As you can see there, I was out of reach, so I could just pull it forward. And another thing you may notice, as you start to roll here, the liner starts to sort of lift up. Well, that's quite a good thing. If you see that, just carry on rolling and push that liner all the way to the other side. And hopefully, if you get to the other side, the liner will hang over a certain amount more than where the film ends. That obviously means that this side here looks like 1 inch. This is hanging over 1 inch more, which means that the start of the film is probably 1 inch less covered from the liner. What I'm going to do in a minute, assuming the window in the inside is clean, if you don't know how to do that, scroll back to our previous videos, and then what we're going to do is, obviously we're going to go this on the inside of the window, and we're going to unroll it. When we do that, we're going to roll this up. We are going to hold that piece of film on the roll, and we're going to unroll this part. Now, this is the glue because the liner is touching this. And as I continue to unroll, the liner is going to continue to unroll as well. Right, so we're in the inside of the car here. Now we're about to apply this bit of window film. It's important to know which side is the top and which side is the bottom. Obviously, it's very easy to know that once you understand which side you rolled it from. But once we start, like I just said earlier, we're going to get this liner, we're going to pinch it on the roll itself. We're going to peel off the part of the window film where the glue is exposed. We're going to put that on the window itself, and then we're going to unroll it across the window. Now, what we want to try and achieve here is when we roll the window film, you need to remember that this window is not a square shape or a rectangle shape. So as you roll it, there is going to be some telescoping. And if you imagine a telescope where it sort of comes out like that, that's the type of thing I mean, some telescoping. What we want to do is we want to make sure that that telescoping is at the top and not the bottom. The reason for this is because we want to apply the bottom first and we want to have our top hanging off. Now, if we were to try and put this window film in exactly the right place, as we were to unroll it, it would buckle on the parcel shelf. It would touch some film, some pillars, sorry. It would touch the headliner and everything else. So we're going to start rolling this slightly just above where we need to be and slightly just away from the edge that we're starting from. And then obviously as we continue, we're going to slide it down, we're going to get the top on, and we're going to get that side on, and you're going to see what I mean in a minute. So now we're in here, we want as much fluid as possible. It's important to say that liquid really is a window tinter's friend. It really, really is. So we've cleaned this already, we've given it a wipe, and now we're ready to go. So I'm going to spray up this window. Now this is a Subaru Impreza. I think it's a WRX. One thing that is for sure is it has an extremely felty parcel shelf. And again, if you're not from England and you call this something else, this bit here, in England we call this a parcel shelf, it is full of felt. So what we want to do is obviously we want to avoid our window film picking up any of them dry hairs. What I mean by that is obviously we need to spray the window, and if we can get that parcel shelf wet in the same process, it's not a bad thing. Don't worry. Now we're going to pick up this window film here that's already in our hand. We are going to pinch the liner on the roll, and we're going to peel off the glue side, which should already be wet. And we're going to start on the side that we've chosen. Now, please remember that I'm left-handed, so I'm going to start on the right-hand side of the vehicle. But if you are right-handed, you want to start on the left-hand side of the inside of the car. I'm going to start unrolling. As so. If you want to stop and correct it, for what I mean by that is, if you want to stop rolling, get more of the tint on the glass, get it more over this side, get all this bunches gone and nice and flat so it doesn't pick up any sort of hairs in these pockets, that's absolutely fine. But please have this top part hanging off at the moment. We're going to get to the end here, and now that it's there, I can pick up the liner here, and it's short of the side because, as we talked about earlier, it moved as we sort of sprayed it all up and started to roll it. So now I can peel back this liner from the outside of the from the outside of the film, not the inside where it originated from. Spread it out, get it into the right position. Which is pretty much about here. Once we're covered and you can't see any gaps of light coming through the window, now we're ready to squeegee. Just before I squeegee now, I'm not going to show you how to squeegee because, again, we should have already covered that in previous videos. But once we do this, we might get to a point where our squeegee or blue mac or whichever tool you're using can't quite get to the bottom because this parcel shelf is in the way. You're going to need a bulldozer tool to do that, and that will be in a separate video. But there you go. That is how to get a big piece of film on the inside of the glass that doesn't lift up and down like a tailgate does without touching the pillars, touching the headliner, touching the parcel shelf. The reverse roll. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Michael Brand. Thank you for watching Tinternet. My name's Michael Brand from Tinted. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.